Alright, this is my 2018 Tacoma. I'm going to be doing a 2 1/4 leveling kit. Just because I ain't got the money for a big boy lift right now. So we're going to do strut spacer. Just a piece through here. I got it up on jack stands. Let's get these wheels off. After you get your wheel off, make sure you place them under the front of the car or somewhere where the frame would land on them. If anything was to fall, it's better than falling on you or the ground. To disassemble this, there's a couple different ways to do it. The way I did it was I took the upper off to avoid messing with the cams and the caster. If you don't mind, you can do that and you don't have to take as much off. I feel like it's kind of the same depending on how you do it. All I did was I dropped this out right here for the ball joint. I took this off, raised the upper, I dropped the sway bar link, and that's pretty much it as far as this goes. Then just take the top off, drop the lower bolt out of the strut here, and you have to do it on both sides to get this sway bar to move. After you get it apart on both sides, you can kind of zip tie the hub over here, and you don't have to take the brake caliper off or anything like that, as long as you're careful with the lines. I did take this mount off of the upper control arm, and I took the mount off the back of the strut tower here, just so I could move this without worrying about, you know, how I'm pulling on this sensor here. You take that stuff off, you can move this guy freely, do it on both sides, then you can move this sway bar out of the way. After you get everything undone, you basically just grab the hub assembly here, push down on it very little, maybe an inch to 2 at the very most, and you'll be able to take the strut assembly here and drop it out of the little basket that it's got down here in the lower control arm, and you'll be able to drop it out, kind of let it fall down in, lift this up out of the way, and just pull the strut assembly forward and take it on out. And that's about the gist of it. Reverse that process to put it back. After you put it back together, to get everything to squeeze back together, because this upper's not going to want to come down really, and the lower's not going to want to come up too much. I just put a ratchet strap through the upper and around the lower, and make sure you don't have anything pinched in the strap, or you're not, you know, the strap's not putting any tension on anything other than the upper and lower. Strap it together, then you can get your castle nut on here and torque everything down. Make sure you put that cotter in. That's it. I put the leveling kit on it. The torque specs on it was 47 for mine. Every year's might be different, but 47 for mine up top, 47 on this also. This guy right here was 81. This one was 52, and the bottom part of the strut, the bolt that goes to the bottom strut, is 100 foot-pounds. So 100, 52, 81, 47 on both of these guys. And that's about the gist of it. It doesn't take long. Takes a little longer when you're filming and or trying to film anyways. But yeah, that's the gist. So I'm gonna put it back together and see what it looks like. Here it is, finished up, back together. Not too bad. It's a 2.5 inch spacer. Here's what the CV shaft looks like. I don't really think there's any need for drop brackets or anything like that. The camber is going to be a little bit off, but the caster should be good by taking the upper control arm off instead of the lower. I drove it a good little bit just to kind of see if it was darty or not. So it seems to be fine. I think obviously with the camber being off, it's gonna have a little outside wear faster. I don't think it'll be anything too crazy, but it's something you'd probably want to get addressed, most definitely. But realistically, I don't see it being wild. But there she is. Definitely setting a little higher in the front. Looks a lot better.